The world ended the day my mother died. I was 26, blissfully planning my future with Mason, my fiancé. Our lives were perfectly intertwined, just blocks from my childhood home, everything falling into place. Then the phone rang in the dead of night. My father's voice, a raw whisper, "She's gone." The funeral was a blur of casseroles and condolences. I remember gripping my dad's hand at the graveside, his hold desperate, as if I was his last link to her. 30 years they'd been married, high school sweethearts. I couldn't fathom his pain, Dad. In the weeks that followed, I practically moved back in. What started as checking if he ate evolved into emotional check-ins, then doing his laundry, tidying up a ghostly echo of my teenage years. The house, unchanged, felt hollow without her, a mere shell. About 3 weeks after the funeral, I was putting away groceries when he walked into the kitchen, his face unusually grim. "Jessica," he said, using that serious tone reserved for important matters, "I need to ask you something." My stomach clenched. "What's up, Dad?" "I want you to move back in," he said. "Just for a little while." "What? Why?" I stammered, thinking of Mason. He cut me off gently. "I know. It's just, this house is too quiet. I can't sleep. I eat alone. I wake up alone. I'm not used to it." The raw loneliness in his eyes was deeper than any grief I'd seen at the funeral. I swallowed hard. "Okay," I finally said, "but just for a little while." Mason understood, though hesitant. "It's a tough time," he said. "If you think it'll help him heal, go for it. Just don't lose yourself in it, Jess." So I packed a small bag and returned to my childhood room. It was exactly as I'd left it, teenage band posters clinging to the walls, the small, worn bed, a strange comfort. The first few days were surprisingly peaceful. We ate dinner, watched TV, and he even smiled. Progress, I thought. But then the little things started, strange requests. One night, he asked me to sit in the living room until he fell asleep. "The house feels less empty when you're around," he murmured. I dismissed it. The next night, he asked me to wear Mom's old robe. "You look just like her in it," he said softly. That felt off. I blamed grief. Loss can twist reality, right? Then came the night I found him in the kitchen, clutching one of Mom's nightgowns, his shoulders trembling. "You remind me of her so much," he whispered, turning, his eyes glassy. "Sometimes I pretend she's still here." I was frozen, unsure whether to hug him or run. I stayed, comforting him, but a cold dread began to seep into me. Was this normal grief or something darker? A few nights later, everything became chillingly clear. We were eating spaghetti and meatballs. He buttered his bread slowly, then looked up. "I've been thinking," he said, "about moving on." A wave of relief washed over me. "That's good, Dad. Mom wouldn't want you to be alone forever." He nodded. "I agree. But I don't want someone new. I want someone who understands me, who understands this house, who knows me." He reached across the table, gently taking my hand. "I want you to stay. Not just as my daughter, but as my partner." I froze. Did I hear that right? Was grief twisting his words, or my understanding? But then I saw the look in his eyes, the way he held my hand just a little too long, the catching of his breath. I yanked my hand away. "No, Dad, that's not okay." He immediately backtracked, apologized, blamed grief for twisting his brain. I nodded, but I didn't believe him. That night, I called Mason. "Jess, you need to get out of there," he said. "Tonight." I didn't leave. Immediately, I needed closure. I needed to understand. The next day, while he was on his morning walk, I went into his room. I hadn't snooped in years, but I was desperate. In his desk drawer, I found a stack of journals, neatly dated. Most entries were raw pain, passages about missing Mom, about the house feeling like a prison, the endless nights. But as I read further, the tone shifted. He wrote about me, about how much I reminded him of her, how it might be fate I came back. One entry read, "Jessica is my light in this darkness." Maybe she was meant to come back for more than just help. Maybe this is the universe telling me something. My stomach twisted. That night, I sat him down. "I'm leaving," I said. "You need help, Dad, real help. This is more than grief. This is something deeper, and it's not healthy." He didn't fight me. For a moment, he looked utterly broken, then nodded. "You're right," he said quietly. "I've been lost." Returning to Mason felt like stepping into another world. I slept for 12 hours straight. When I woke, I cried not from fear, but from sadness. I had lost both parents in a way. One to death, the other to something I still couldn't name. Weeks passed. Dad started therapy and joined a grief support group. I maintained contact but held firm boundaries. Slowly, he began to change. He planted new flowers in Mom's garden, cooked for himself, even made new friends. It wasn't perfect, but it was. Assert Dadas for me, I learned how complicated grief can be, how it can distort, manipulate, even rewrite your sense of reality. But I also learned that love, real, genuine love, sometimes means walking away, setting limits, saying no. I still visit him once a week. We talk about Mom, share stories, laugh, sometimes cry, but we never talk about that night. Some things are better left in the past. Some lines, once crossed, can never be uncrossed. But healing? That's still possible. If you or someone you know is struggling with grief or mental health, please seek professional help. Your well-being matters. Let me know what you think of this version. Is there anything specific you'd like to refine further?